All right, it's time to make one of my absolutely essential pantry staples. And well, pantry, but it's actually gonna live in the kitchen or the freezer. We're gonna make some almond milk here. So super easy. If you go to a grocery store, you can buy it in some ready-made containers. But if you start to read the ingredient list, they get very long very quickly. And I have a definite preference for having as few labels as possible. So ours is super easy. It's got almonds, it's got filtered water, it's got a little pinch of some Himalayan sea salt. If you do decide you want to sweeten it, you can add a couple medjool dates, but otherwise it's not necessary because most of the time we're adding it into smoothies. And if that smoothies already has some berries or something else going into it here, we don't want to have an overly sweet almond milk. So I usually keep it as basic as possible. What I did was I took some plain almonds here. I covered them with some filtered water here. We let them sit for a couple hours there. It helps to break down the outsides. It makes them easier to grind up. It makes them ready to be used here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna strain that off. We're gonna add those almonds into our high-speed blender here. We're gonna top 1 cup of almonds to about 4 cups of water. Again, depending on how thick you like your almond milk, you can go a little more water or a little less. We'll blend it up here, and then we'll show you the next steps as we strain it out here. So we got our strainer here. We're just gonna try not to make too big a mess here in the kitchen today. These guys here are going into in there we got some filtered water here. Cup size over here. We're gonna add, we need just a touch bit more here. Get up to that just over that 4 cup mark. And we're gonna add the sea salt after. So we're gonna blend this all up here. We're gonna strain it. We're gonna clean the blender out. We'll put the almonds back into it here. We'll blend them one more time with that pinch of Himalayan sea salt, and we'll strain it through the nut milk bag here. Anyways, you will see it in action here. It's gonna get noisy for a second as this guy goes on here. All right, we got a nice clean blender here. Always important to give it a clean because we just strained all that almond milk out of the pulp and we don't want any pulp back in there. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour that back in here. You don't have to do this step. You could mix it with your hand. I like to use a blender because it also gives me a nice spout so I can pour it right from this afterwards, either into my mason jars or in my ice cube trays, which we'll show you here. We're gonna give this a couple little cracks of some sea salt. I do like to add a little bit in there so that we make sure we get some of those trace minerals that are in that Himalayan sea salt into our smoothies and what we use our almond base for. So again, we're gonna give it a quick little pulse, starting on low. Just make sure it's all blended and smooth. It only takes a few seconds there. And again, what we could do is we could pour this into our clean mason jar here, and we could put it in the fridge, and it would be good for about five or 6 days. And then we have to pour it into, either use it all up, or it can go into some ice cube trays. Or we're gonna do what I'm gonna do today is we're gonna take our ice cube tray here. We're gonna take the pouring spout here, and we are going to you can add your cinnamon, you can add your cacao, you can add your maca, you can add whatever your recipe calls for, knowing that you just have a clean, simple almond milk base. And that is as challenging as it is to make some of your own almond milk here at home.